What's going on YouTube? So with today's video, I got 5 great designer fragrances that you could rock during the spring of 2022. Before we get into it, I just want to state that I did do another video like this, so I'm not sure what video is going to go out first, but let's just kick it off right now with number 1. Gucci Guilty Put On Eau de Parfum. This stuff here came out in 2020, and I was actually kind of surprised when I first smelled this one. I do like a lot of the offerings from Gucci. A lot, like the original Gucci Guilty, it's a solid fragrance. I know that it does get pooped on, but this, you know, like the line itself is pretty solid in my opinion. This fragrance here is very much like the original. It does have a lot of that original DNA, but it's just more, maybe slightly a little bit more spicy. It's got like paprika, it's got some rose, and it definitely has that balsamic vinegar to add it a little bit more like sour in some ways. It's a really nice take from the original. But you're gonna get that typical lavender, the orange blossom, you're gonna get a little bit of cedar as well. This fragrance here is just an all-around daily fragrance. You could wear it dressed down to dressing it up. I think that you could rock it on a night out, and then you could wear it on a semi-formal occasion as well. It does have a little bit of class. If it wasn't for the rose, maybe that balsamic vinegar, I don't think that it would actually be a good like semi-formal fragrance, but because of those two notes together, it really does add a little bit more class to it. It's a little bit more, even though that I did state it does have a lot of the similarities to the original, I would say that this one is a little bit more formal. It's a little bit more classier than the original. Longevity off this one here is going to be 8 to 10 hours. Fragrance number 2 is going to be Mercedes-Benz Silver. This is actually my second Mercedes-Benz fragrance. I believe the original, like the first one I got was classic. No longer have that in my collection because I thought it was kind of blah, but more than likely I'll get it back in my collection. But this one here has musk and ambroxan. There's some moss, some vetiver, some bitter orange, but also a very nice rhubarb. The rhubarb does add a little bit of a tart, sour feel to it, and I really like that note. It's not the most common, so it does add a little bit of uniqueness. But this one here is a great office fragrance. I find that a lot of the offerings from Mercedes-Benz, there is a little bit of class to them. They do have some safe fragrances, but I find that even the safe fragrances, they just have a little bit of a classiness to it, and that they're perfect for the everyday man and they're perfect for the office. Longevity off this one here is going to be 7 to 8 hours. Fragrance number 3 is definitely a gentleman's fragrance. When I first smelled it, I was a little unsure because there is a note that does add a lot of femininity to it, does add a lot of gentility to it, but Burberry Man Black cologne. This is just a little 15 ml. If I could have anywhere from 15 to 30 ml in all of my bottles, I would be, that's all I would want, but that's not possible. But there's rum, there's also lots of jasmine and tuberose to this one here to really just amplify that gentility. And it's the jasmine and the orange blossom that made me unsure about this fragrance in the beginning. But there's amber, benzoin, and some sandalwood as well. So this is like an ambery, boozy, white floral scent that's really a gentleman's fragrance. I do find that this might be better for the older guy out there. I just find that this fragrance does have that smell of a gentleman, someone who likes to be well groomed, well mannered. And I'm not saying that someone in their 20s is not that, because there's some guys that, like some 19-year-olds that just are big into fashion and know how to dress way better than I do. It just has that, like, you have to have a little bit of life experience, right? That's what I find that this fragrance is. It's great for the office, it's great dressing down, but sense of style, and it's a great night out fragrance. It's very, very signature scent worthy and super versatile. Longevity off this one here is going to be 7 to 8 hours. Fragrance number 4 is an oldie but a goldie. So good old KCK. So some of you young people, millennials and zoomers, like, who the hell is that? Unfortunately, he passed away. If he was alive, he'd probably be 85 to this day, but he was a famous radio host, music radio host. But this one here is going to be Hugo Boss, Hugo Just Different. So it is an oldie but a goldie because it came out in 2011, and it is unfortunately a bit of a forgotten fragrance. It's a very green fragrance with mint, green notes or green leaves. Definitely green, Granny Smith apple. This one also has basil, coriander, but also olibanum. So it's a very, very green scent with some fruity nuance from the green apple and a little bit of a slightly balsamic feel from the olibanum. and a little bit of spice, like warm spices from the coriander. Mostly it's just green, but also fruity. Great casual scent. I think that someone who was in high school all the way to a grandfather could rock it. So it's ageless. It's more of a casual fragrance, but it's also perfect for the office. Longevity off this one here is going to be 6 to 7 hours. And fragrance number 5, I would say that this is going to be probably the most masculine fragrance out of this list, and it's a great fragrance at an affordable price. Bentley for Men Azure. This has lots of violet leaf. The violet leaf in this makes it really airy, but you're gonna get pineapple and tangerine to give it a little bit of a fruity nuance, and you're also gonna get some paprika to give it a little bit of spice, like a warm spicy nuance. Really surprised by this one here, and I could swear that there's a little bit of black pepper to this one. But this is just a great fragrance for the office. Bentley does great fragrances just like Mercedes-Benz at a very affordable price. Bentley does them a little bit better, like well blended, but Mercedes, you can't sleep on that brand at all. This is great dressing down to dressing it up, daytime, nighttime. It does have that hint of maturity because of that paprika, and I would say that the violet leaf combination itself, violet leaf could be ageless, but that paprika note just adds something unusual, adds something unique to it. Overall, great masculine scent from Bentley, and this is gonna range you anywhere from like 35 to 50 bucks Canadian, so it's a cheapie in my opinion. Longevity off this one here is gonna be 7 to 8 hours. So guys, I just gave you 5 great designer fragrances that you could rock in the spring of 2022. So if I review these ones, I have reviewed all of them except for these 2 here. They are in the works for sure this springtime. They will be down in the description box below. What videos to watch next? Well, why don't you check out this side here for other great spring recommendations. It might be a top 5 or just a regular review. Might be a smell and rate with the wife. Who really knows? Just check out this side here. And before you go, please make sure to give me one of these, as I really would appreciate it. I thank you for your time. Take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.